Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be each and every Sunday night. Where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV for round two, season 25 of Sunday Night Lights here at the great German track Hockenheim at the National A layout this week from memory. I'm Alex McCarroll, joining me as always is the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser. Corey, big night of racing once again for what is a massive field too.
That's right, Alex. 17 cars, a 47-48 strength of field. Absolutely incredible numbers. Hopefully, we continue on the up and up like this because, especially with how tight this layout is and how compact it is, the lap times are going to be short and the tempers could end up being flaring by the end of this race. So it should be, hopefully, a cooking pot of excitement.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Should be pretty massive, hopefully. Only time will tell, of course, and the drivers themselves will tell that story tonight. But speaking of the drivers, let's check out who's joining us here tonight. Of course, number one car back with us once again is Mr. Julian O'Fray. Great to see him back. Took P2 in the opener last week, looking to go one better if he can. Car number two, great to see him back. One of Iberia's strongest drivers in the Skippy, Oscar Chinchilla Maza. Great to see him back, of course. Car 3, leading ANZ driver in terms of the seedings. One Corey Lane back to have another crack at it this week. Giuseppe Tellini, the leading Italian, seeding here tonight for Doctors Wave Italy. Just behind him, his compatriot Laura Samadio. Sam Devantia, the cowboy himself for Speedy Snails, is back again. He's got some pace here, the cowboy. It'd be great to see what he can do with it here tonight. Trying to join Lean in heading up the ANZ charge. Seventh plated car tonight is Mr. Gol Kawabe. Once again, back to try and fight for the Japanese cause here out on track tonight. Cristobal Otero, along with Maza, one of the real stalwarts of Iberian Skippy racing. Fantastic to see him back in action. We don't get to see as much of him these days, so it's great to see him back. And the 10-plated car here tonight, the Welshman for Two Fools Racing's back, Mr. Nick Vaughan Roberts. Certainly got some pace to mix it amongst the top half of the field, Corey.
That's right, Alex. But the excitement and the prestige does not end there. The 11th plated car here tonight from Central Eastern Europe, Vladimir Kiplik. Exciting to see him back on track and see what he can do here tonight. We got Takumi Yamato from Japan Club in the 12th plated car. Dimitri Filipides, who has been on the up and up lately from the Asia Club, is going to be in the 13th plated car. Oz and Zed's Vasco Sorowski. Great to see him back on track, Alex, and he'd be looking for a great result here tonight as well. Hiroshi Ueda from Japan Club as the 15th plated car. And we've got an American joining us here tonight, Evan Godbell from Illinois. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I'm pretty sure this is his debut here on Sunday Night Lights, Alex. And then wrapping up the field as a 17th plated car, Mr. Sean Doyle from the Oz and Zed Club. And be interesting to see what he can do as well, Alex, because I don't think we've had Sean very often here in the top split.
No, Sean's actually, I think it's his first crack in the top split from memory. Apologies, Sean, if it's not your maiden voyage, mate. Sean, of course, races in the Aussie Car Series on a Thursday night. You may be familiar with him from that. Certainly I am. I've raced with Sean a number of times on a Thursday night, but unfortunately he's the only one of the Aussie Car crew that's made it in tonight by the looks. I know Braden Martin, who often gives us a report from the second split, he's down in the second split again tonight, but certainly great to see. And you mentioned him briefly. I'm just trying to spot him. Hiroshi Ueda. It's his first run in the top split here tonight, the Japanese driver. He's just cracked 4K for the first time from what I understand of it, and certainly looking to make the most of it in the top split. 4K, if you don't mind, is only car number 15, which means our lowest seeded driver there, Sean Doyle, at 3,900, just snuck in ahead of Braden Martin, who was unfortunately the number one car in the second split. The number one car in the first split tonight, currently sitting fourth after his first lap, is Julian O'Fray, Corey.
And that's exactly right, Alex. We've got Takumi Yamato actually currently on top of the timetables. The 139. Oh, sorry. He's just been pipped by Corey Lean. A 39.124 there on his second lap. So we're starting to get a lot of these second laps flying in. And the lap times keep dropping. We've got Nick Vaughan Roberts from the UK and I currently P2. And he is only 0.014 of a second behind the time set by Corey Lean. What I'm surprised about here, Alex, is I'm not seeing the cowboy himself, Mr. Sandavantia, actually on the standings at all.
Well, he's binned his second lap. Oh, let's see what happened to the cowboy here. He's been on fire this week. Oh, he must have picked up a 1X and he's just, oh, he's put it, I'm pretty sure he put it on pole the last two races and then he's done that. Oh, and he was given Ben Snell a gobful in the previous races for 1Xing both his quali laps, and then the Cowboys gone and done that. Oh, the sweet irony. That's unfortunate for Sam. He's got pace here, so if he can avoid the mid pack challenges, he's hoping that he can still put on a good show, Corey.
Well, the pace that Sam has around here, and we both watched that warm-up race, Alex. It's definitely going to be exciting seeing him coming through the field. He put it on pole for the last race, and he was up at the front the entire time. Ended up finishing P2 due to a little bit of some nefarious circumstances on the final lap. But that doesn't take away, just how good he is at driving around here at the moment. And probably be a little bit of action centered around him here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just been reminded by the good folks in the chat that Sean Doyle did actually debut at this very track last season. I remember he had a battle with Braden Martin. Now that it comes back to mind, they had a good old ding dong in the midfield. Both, I think, finishing in the top 10 from memory. So good to have Sean back in the field here tonight. Gobdell. I'm going to say Evan Gobdell from Illinois in the US. He's making his debut as he pulls it up, and O'Fray just getting those last moments of track time in before we kick off here tonight. We've got about 15 seconds. Of course, we're in the shorter layout here tonight, the shorter configuration, Corey. And it's an interesting one. You go through a truncated version of the parabolica there into turn 5 before you come back onto the track proper. Just cuts out that long draft pass opportunity down at the hairpin at turn 6. Interesting to see. So it's still a primary passing opportunity. It'll be interesting to see what the guys can make of it here tonight. But let's go check out how they did finish up in qualifying here tonight. For round 2 of Sunday Night Lights, we've got Corey Lean leading the... wrong button, sorry folks. Corey Lean leading the charge here tonight, which is fantastic. With 139.1, great time. Have seen people duck into 138s, but not quite the conditions here tonight. Lean jams it on pole. Joining me on the front row is Nick Vaughan Roberts for Two Fools Racing, showing that he certainly has the pace here tonight. Julian O'Fray similarly up the front as per usual, just a 10th off, but starting from P number 3. Joining me on the second row is Takumi Yamato from Japan. Oscar Maza from Iberia starting from 5th tonight. George Matsushinsky, great to see George back again. He's at a 6th. I don't know how I missed him in the roundup at the start. Vladimir Kiplik from Central Eastern Europe in P7 off the grid. Evan Godboll in his debut, starting from 8th. Laura Samadio from Italy in 9th. Giuseppe Tellini, his compatriot, out of 10th. Gail Kawabe from Japan out of 11th. Dimitri Philippides starting from 12th as we go over the page. 13th tonight, Cristobal Otero, the other Iberian in the field. Sam Devantia, after really tanking his quali, starting in 14th. 15th tonight, the debutant in the top split, Hiroshi Ueda from Japan. Vasco Sorowski for Team Clowns, not where he saw himself before tonight's race, out of 16th. And Sean Doyle making his second appearance, starting in the final spot on the grid here tonight. Corey, who is your money on before we get underway?
I've got to pull for the Aussie Corey Lean, starting off the front row, Alex. Just going to keep that Aussie hope alive as the revs start to rise. The red lights mean rev and the green lights mean go. We're underway here for round number 2 of season 25 from the Hockenheim ring. And already Corey Lean definitely been a dominant leader. I mean, the field is quite staggered on the starting line there. Looks like everyone's so far getting through turn 1 pretty okay. you're on the front row, you can actually take that corner flat that I've heard, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And the guys, no doubt, will be taking full advantage of that as we come down into turn two here. They've all got it done okay. Long line of skippies have made it through all right at this stage, including all the way up at the front where we see Vaughan Roberts taking the very wide right-hand side, seeking to get the inside at the first passing opportunity. Legit down at turn 5. The truncated parabolica, as we see, compacting the field. Once again, as Devantia's already looking to make some moves. He's up one spot already. Looking to let his Skippy do the talking as he tries to come through the field, Corey.
And that's exactly right, Alex. And as I said, it'd be worth keeping an eye on Sam throughout this entire race, just because, you know, we've seen the pace that he's got in that Skippy, and he's definitely not one to mess around. Quite the aggressive driver sometimes, and you know, he can be quite patient, but it doesn't look like he's getting there at the moment. He goes around the outside of Filipides into the stadium section and now takes the inside line and takes away the 12th position, getting him now into the point scoring positions, Alex.
Yep, up 2 positions, straight behind Otero, who's just in front of him. Already he's trying to get their stuff done. As we jump back up the front, we've got Corey Lean leading us out from Vaughan Roberts, the Welshman in second from O'Fray. So we've got the ANZ on top with the Europeans chasing. Something we like to see here on a Sunday night, Corey. We don't see it often enough, but certainly Lean putting on the show here tonight.
And we know that Lean's always got a little bit of pace, and he's actually starting to get a little bit of a gap here, Alex, out to about 7/10 of a second. I saw at one point there, so he's already almost getting out of the draft range of Julian Alfrey there in P2, who has only just moved up into second in front of Vaughan Roberts. They come through the parabolica once more into the tight hairpin, and at the moment, Alex, this looks like it's going to be Corey Lean's race to lose. There's a big lock up in behind.
Marcinski, he just sent it, locked it up, and let's go take... Let me just see if I could find a replay of that. Let's see this one. Is this it? Yeah, look, he just came in so late, and he just locked it all up. So much of the field's got through there cleanly, and a couple of extra spots for those coming in behind. But the 2 car there of Chinchilla Maza will not be sending any Christmas cards to Matsushinsky this year, I don't think, as the front 3 on the back of that are really looking to get away, Corey.
And that's exactly what they got to do here, Alex. It might be worth for Corey Lean to just hold back a little bit, allow Julian Alfrey to get up close to him so they can all just hook up together and get drafted off into the distance. And saying that, I don't think they're going to have to put in too much work here. All 3 of these guys at the front are all very well-experienced Skippy competitors. And, you know, Corey Lean out at the moment is just absolutely on fire. Even though he's taken a 1x on that lap somewhere, and Julian O'Frey's got the fastest lap of the race so far. You know, Corey Lean definitely looks like the car to beat here tonight, Alex.
Yeah, mate, he's already out to, what's that, a half-second gap. If anyone's going to hang on to him, it's O'Frey. But the question is, can Vaughan Roberts hang on to those 2? Because certainly Takumi Yamato's leading from Japan is leading the charge at this secondary pack, and it is chock-a-block. It's all the way down, I think, to... What's that? Vasco Swarovski in P14. I think it's a single line of cars there trying to get through. And we see the likes of Otero and Devantia, who are both up 4 positions, still trying to fight their way through. Both of them got pace here tonight. It's just whether or not they can stretch their legs and get through, or stretch their legs, get their elbows out to then further stretch them and get right in amongst it. But at the moment, it really looks like, and O'Frey's right on the back of Lean now. Less than 3/10 means he's right in the cusp, or the nestling in there on the back of Lean's Skippy in the draft there. The question is, can they work together and make it a 2-horse battle, or can Vaughan Roberts hang on? Because these 3, if nothing else, they're gone.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. And at the moment, the gap between O'Frey and Vaughan Roberts is about half a second in itself. It's borderline more on the 7/10 of a second at the moment. I noticed that there's definitely a little bit of a gap here in performance between O'Frey and Vaughan Roberts. O'Frey, with the draft assistance from Lean, definitely putting in the hard yards. He's done a 38.984 at the moment as his fast time. It looks like a fray quite break enough draft of Vaughan Roberts to drop him off here, Alex. So I think this might end up being a three-horse race as the laps continue to tick down.
Yeah, and this pack are doing themselves no favours there. You saw Yamato and Kiplik trade places in the heavy braking zone at turn 2 as they come through this truncated version of the Parabolica that we see here this week, and they're just going side by side everywhere. You got the 16 car there of Evan Godbill now trying to make his mark on it. And this is the problem. Not only is it costing them a heap of time, but it's just you could see the virtual steam coming out from the different drivers' helmets here as places are exchanged, time is lost, and the front three just cheering all the way as Devantia now continues to follow Otero through. Both of them now as they drive past Loris and Martio. Martio's coming back. He's really giving it to Devantia. Sends the Cowboy wide into the dirt. Cowboy will come back at him. He really wants to stick on the back of Otero because those two have been charging through the field. Like I said, both up 5 positions already. We said that the Cowboy was one to watch here with his pace. The question is, can he keep following Otero, who both of them are on a tear?
Well, that is the ultimate question here, Alex. And if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be these two, as they're now respectively in 8th and 9th positions. As you said, both of them up 5, which is no mean feat around this track, especially with it being the shortened, more compressed version. And I did say at the start of this, with this being the more compressed version of the Hockenheim ring, tempers will tend to flare here a little bit, especially going through the hairpin coming into the stadium section immediately. And I reckon we're probably going to see a little bit of road rage here before the end of the race, Alex.
Yeah, potentially. Hopefully the guys have got their mute buttons ready for when tempers fray a little bit. Meanwhile, back up front, we do have a 3-horse race here led by Corey Lean ahead of O'Fray and Vaughan Roberts. Starting to become familiar faces at the front of these races. Oh, we've lost Devantia. He's tumbling down the order, as is Matuszynski again. Devantia, I don't know, I think he's hit the eject button. I'm not sure. Let me go see if I can find something as we grab our leaders once again. Now, let me just find...
I'm just having a look at it, Alex.
Yeah, I'm just going back to grab it now. Yep.
Yeah, Sam just got a tap in the rear at the hairpin.
Oh, I think it's the 5. So Sam's checked up. Yeah, he's pretty close there. He's checked up a little bit more than the 5 car by the looks. Has got into the rear of him, Amadio, potentially. Yeah, just clipped him in the rear and turned him. Oh, he's didn't quite hold the brakes as well as he could have, and then he's hit the eject button, and that was about it for the Cowboy here tonight. We'll grab live pictures, Alex. That's probably the way to go as the leaders go through turn 1 for the starter lap 6 course 20 lap race here tonight. It's going to back right into the F1s, Corey. Oh, it's doing my head in. They've done it to us again here at Hockenheim. They've added the extra laps. In fact, it's the only track for season upon season that you've had to take the extra click to grab 15 litres. Oh, as I hear crashing in the background, Kiplik's gone off. What do we got here? Let's see if we can't find the... I can't even find it, Corey. Did you see what happened?
Unfortunately, I didn't, Alex. I heard the contact. And I'm just going back to have a look at it right now. Looks like Kiplik was in position to make a move on Gobdell, and just ran into the rear of him in the braking zone. Looks like he just absolutely missed his braking zone. Unfortunately, that's going to be bad for both those drivers. But Gobdell looks like he's actually recovered here to P6 at the moment, Alex. So possibly not as bad as what it was for him.
No, it seems got away with one. The debutant there. You got Yamato in front of him there with Tellini now leading the charge, and Devantia, that'll be shattering the Cowboy. He was tossing up whether to do this one. He's had a good run of luck and a good run of pace. I guess his luck's run out here tonight. But meanwhile, jumping back up to the front where luck's fortune, you've got Julian O'Fray just breaking draft now from behind Corey Lean with Vaughan Roberts tucked in behind as we See this secondary pack slowly dwindling in numbers, bit by bit, led by Giuseppe Tellini with Yamato now putting on another strong performance, the Japanese driver. Leading Japanese of 3 in the field tonight. Where's Kawabe-san? He's on the back of this pack. He's very good at that, isn't he, Corey? Just sitting there biding his time and making his move as I hear more crunching. Oh, my goodness. Let's go see what happened there. My goodness, this stuff. Yeah, look. Who's that? That's Otero's been turned into the braking zone there at turn 2 by the 16 car of Godwell again. You can't get him out of the action here tonight, Corey.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way, Alex. And hopefully he's going to use this as a big learning curve because, one thing that we like to say is, you got to have a lot of race smarts about you and, don't know how to get yourself out of certain situations. Unfortunately, the first situation was not of any of his doing, but that second one, it's a bit 50-50 sometimes, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah, it is, mate. But like you say, hopefully stuff can be learnt by all involved. There's something to learn from every incident for everyone involved. Did I put my position in my car in the safest spot going into a corner to avoid an accident? Did I, brake too early, too late, whatever? There's plenty to learn, and that's what we hopefully when the dust settles. Speaking of dust, Kawabe-san kicking up an awful lot of dust out of the last corner, but when the dust does settle, we can take something away from each and every race and each and every incident. But going back to the action here tonight, the front three, led by Lean still, with very patient O'Fray and Vaughan Roberts tucked in behind him. These three will be our podium sitters, incidents notwithstanding, and I know O'Fray will be looking forward to grabbing some more points. Vaughan Roberts tucked right in behind, less than 2/10. That'll be making the Frenchman nervous, no doubt. Our second group, led by Tellini, with Yamato once again coming back. It's very easy to get lines crossed there because you want to take the outside in, but then you defend up the inside, and you cut across what looks like braking lines. And yeah, look, it's very challenging when you start modifying some of these Grand Prix layouts to suit the smaller cars, Corey.
That's right, Alex. But these drivers, as we like to say each and every single week, or at least as I like to say, some of the best Skippy competitors that we can assemble from across the world. And these guys, they like a little bit of a challenge sometimes. And a track like this is definitely quite a bit of a challenge, especially since that braking zone for that little hairpin is actually as difficult as what you're saying it is. Because I've done a few laps in practice, and I honestly just couldn't get it right myself. But I am a bit of a pretty bad driver myself. But these guys are all handling it all right, and everyone's at least got 9 laps of practice in the books since we're 9 laps into this race. And wow, just the attitude of the second pack here as they were coming across the exit curve of turn 1. These guys are pushing the absolute limits and then some, Alex.
Absolutely. Oh, Yamato, a little touch. Oh, a little second touch for the for the sake of it. I was about to say, but then Amadio takes advantage there. Tellini still coming away. Yamato ceding the position as we see. Oh, Vaughan Roberts now takes the initiative, comes through that very hairpin that we were talking about at the end of the truncated parabolic, and now to move himself up into second. O'Fray challenging the Welshman to make sure that he really wants it. And he does for Two Fools Racing. O'Fray will no doubt cede that position, will he? Or he's going to go too wide. Gents, it's only halfway through the race, not even. Just mind your P's and Q's and you got a podium, no worries. Those boys now out to nearly a 6.5 second lead after that little touchy-feely that happened between Yamato and Tellini earlier on this lap. Yamato now really buried in a pack of very buzzy bees there as these skippies look to start almost, well, one more lap and it'll be the second half of the race, Corey.
That's right, Alex. And these races around Hockenheim really feel like they go on forever sometimes with the amount of laps that iRacing has decided to put on them. But that's more action for us here at the end of the day. I know those of you who want to watch the Russian GP probably a little bit disappointed at the moment because of how long this race will potentially go for. These guys, I can absolutely promise you, going as hard as they can, Alex, and they're trying to make sure you guys don't miss too much of that action.
Yeah, hopefully. Come on, guys, get on with it. We want to watch the F1. All right, back up the front, we still have this leading pack of three here with Lean Vaughan Roberts now taking the initiative. Oh, I've just seen some action there as Amadio makes an aggressive move into that hairpin at turn 5 as they come back onto the track proper there to on the run down to Mercedes this time round, and he has made his presence felt on his fellow Italian driver of Tellini now, who's relegated to 5th. Both these guys up 5 positions from where they started, which is a fair effort in a a 4.5 plus K soft story. So Corey, so these guys are really working hard.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. I mean, it's never easy to make passes on a track where there's only a couple of passing zones. It's even harder to do it in such an aggressive top split race. These guys are making it work, these Italians, and hopefully now they can just stay here at the front of this second pack and try and bridge that gap a little bit. I'm not sure how well they're going to go trying to bridge, what is it, 6 seconds in 10 laps, but they're definitely going to give it the good old college try.
Yeah, I think the front three are gone just quietly. Although the fastest lap set by Chinchilla Maza, who's buried fairly deep in this secondary pack. It is a big pack. If only this was for the lead, right? As we see now, the 16 car again getting involved. Godbull, he makes a move or tries to make a move up the inside of Kiplik that time. Does he get it done? Yes, he does. And he's now staunchly defending into the hairpin at turn 5. Oh, the wiggles and the yips does the 11 car of Kiplik as he tries to come back at Godbull, gets it done, and following him through is Marza, and it's a 2-for-1 sale there as Godbull gets done twice into the hairpin, Corey.
And that was a very smart move there from Oscar Maza, just making sure he was right in the tire tracks of Kiplik so he could make that move stick as well. And Gobdell, definitely his skippy's looking a lot worse for wear here, Alex, and it could be affecting his performance a little bit here, especially through the high-speed parabolica.
Yeah, potentially, although the front wing looks okay, which is the real has the real impact when you take a bit of damage there. That'll slow you down tremendously when compared to the rear wing, but certainly there might be a little bit of damage that we can't see to the rear suspension that might impact Godbull's performance, as you say. Meanwhile, back up front, as we come in through that really fast fourth gear turn 1, where you're really crossing your fingers as much as anything that the rear of the car stays with you and you don't get spat out the very extreme outside of the runoff area. Or Vaughan Roberts now really making his presence felt on Corey Lean, who's more, I would suggest, used to being the aggressor in this sort of situation rather than the defender. But he has got a very active racer in Vaughan Roberts tucked in behind him for Two Fools Racing, who will absolutely challenge him for everything and the win here tonight.
That's exactly right, Alex. But we know that Corey Lean, as you said, a very aggressive driver, both with attacking, but we've seen him make some pretty aggressive defensive moves as well. So Vaughan Roberts is really going to have his work cut out for him here. It looks like Julian Alfrey is actually conceding to the third place at the moment, possibly just waiting for the last lap before he tries to make his move here, Alex.
Yeah, 8 laps to go. He's got plenty of time to bide there before as he picks up a 1x on the run down to Sachs there in the start of the stadium section that time round. Plenty of time. Meanwhile, these guys here in the second pack, led by Amadio and Tellini, the two Italians, they too have got plenty of time up their sleeves, but it's interesting in that pack of 3 where you're just sort of biding your time to really attack towards the end. You don't have the same pressure as you do in a pack like this where you might wait normally. You can't necessarily afford to when the pressure's on, because any momentary lapse or, just leave the door half ajar and someone's going to want to move forward in that pack. And it certainly keeps the racing intense, Corey.
Well, that's right, Alex. One of the big things that we talk about on tracks that have a little bit of a draft to pass kind of aspect to it is generally the third car in line is normally the more well positioned one. Although I'd argue for a track like this, being car number two is, but it's all going to be, realistically, if you're in a big pack like this second pack, I want to try and be getting up to either that second or third position in line, as we see the 11 car of Kiplik doing right now into the hairpin as he gets around Yamato and takes over that sixth position, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. I expect to see Marza have a crack at Yamato shortly as well as they come back through onto this run up to turn 11 at Mobile here. It's a nice run in here into the sweeping right-hander again. You're trying to keep the car planted on the track, not spew out to the right as so many of them are doing on the run down to Sachs this time round. Trying to get it turned now through the stadium section. There's no real passing opportunities here, but what you're really trying to do is maximise your speed through here, get a good run into turn one and maybe attack again at turn two the next time round. So just trying to be clean, maximise your pace, not really make a mistake and allow someone to get a sniff into the real passing and overtaking zones, Corey.
Well, that's exactly right, Alex. And talking about passing and overtaking, we have a new leader. The 10 car of Nick Vaughan Roberts has somehow gotten around Corey Lean, and we both absolutely missed it.
Well, let's go take a look. I'll find where it happened. Let's go have a look. And it was down into the hairpin at turn 5, out of the parabolica, and as easy as you like, you just got the run out of turn 2.
Oh, contact, Alex, contact between Vaughan Roberts and Corey Lean that time. Lean trying to go for the re-overtake into the lead, and a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact coming into the hairpin that time.
Oh, yeah, big. There you go. Lean trying to open up the corner a bit by the looks. And Vaughan Roberts holding his line, I'd suggest. At least that's what it looked like, with a little bit of net code as well. But that's the elbows are out. None taking any damage by the looks. And I don't think O'Fray and Roberts are that far out of reach for Lean with his pace. He's already down to 8/10. Oh, it's stretched out to 9.5. Back down to 8.5. Hopefully he's got his the adrenaline sort of calming and getting out of his system a bit. He'll get his head down and look at O'Fray now all over the back of Vaughan Roberts saying, come on, son, get away. Let's make this a 2-horse race. All the while, Lean is closing down that gap. He's already down to 7/10. As O'Fray says, no, none of my draft. If you want it, you're going to have to get it and work for it. There you go. So, bit of action up front. It wasn't just a calm race to the end that we thought it might have been, Corey.
Yeah, that's right, Alex. I was expecting these guys to just stay calm and work together, but Vaughan Roberts wanting to lead it from the front, and Corey Lean also not one to rest on his laurels, wanted to get straight back up there. So I expect Corey Lean to start being his usual aggressive self here, as he's getting right back onto the tail of Julian O'Fray this time. O'Fray actually going for the lead himself into the hairpin.
Lean looking to follow him too.
Wow, that was a big dive by Corey Lean, Alex.
Yeah, he's tried, as you say, tried to follow in the tracks of the car in front, but Vaughan Roberts now has the inside run for Mercedes, but through 9 and 10 it'll be O'Fray and Will Lead follow him. Yes, these guys say we've got an 8-second lead to Bird. Why not? Let's go 3 wide as we approach the right-hander. Coming down now into Sachs is the next quarter. They're only 2 wide. Vaughan Roberts still trying to hold it as they approach Sachs now through the left-hander into the start of the stadium section this time around. Lead, there is no room there, boys. What are you doing? O'Fray this time around, he's going to have the inside run into the final 2 corners now. It's if it's the last lap of the race. It's not the first across the line this time that counts, boys. Don't throw it away, but keep the action coming, please. Vaughan Roberts wins the Phantom lap 16 of 20 race. You'd think they were racing for sheep stations side by side through turn one, if you don't mind. That's the fastest corner on the track. You're flat out in fourth gear pretty much there. 3 wide into the braking zone at turn two. No. Lean backs out and Roberts cuts across the nose there of O'Fray, who backed out of it. Lean now will look to attack O'Fray. These boys are definitely playing for sheep stations, and it's 5 laps to go, Corey.
It's absolutely incredible to watch this action, Alex, as now Corey Lean looking for a move on O'Fray for P2. Another really big dive into the hairpin and a little bit of a slide job there through the middle of the corner. Corey Lean now up into P2, and now he focuses his eyes onto the tail of Nick Vaughan Roberts. He remembers what happened just a few laps ago, and he doesn't want to let this opportunity slip him, Alex. He wants to try and get up there and get back into that lead.
Absolutely. Let's touch base with our Italian stallions that are leading the second pack here. It's down to a pack of 5 now with Amadio, Tellini, Kiplik, Marza and Yamato really vying for that 4th and 5th position but at the end of the day. Dropping off a little bit at the back is Philippides and Otero. Sean Doyle had a bit of an off a couple of laps ago. That's left him with Ueda for 11th and 12th, which are the final point scoring positions as we jump back up to this battle up front for the win. Vaughan Roberts this time leading him out as they start lap 17. 4 laps to go, Corey. It's pretty hot and heavy. Who's your money on at this stage?
I'm still going to have my money on Corey Lean here, Alex. He is showing the perfect amount of aggression right now. And with that little bit of fire that he'll have in his eye from the contact with Roberts earlier, I reckon he's going to have what it takes to come home with the victory here.
Yeah, he could well do. I think his aggression will be matched by Vaughan Roberts.
Oh, I heard crunch.
Oh, I can't see anyone dropping dramatically.
Did see Kiplik lose a couple.
All right, let's go. Yeah, he's gone off track. Let's go. Oh, as we see the battle still continuing. Lean really grabs that through that hairpin once again as they come through Mercedes once more. Line astern, they get it done. And yeah, look, Lean got the pass done there cleanly. Let's go check out what happened to Kiplik if we can. I'm waiting for... just off track, nothing major there. I must have missed it. All right, let's go back to live pictures now, see what's happening up front, because that's where a lot of the action is taking place. These boys really, they could have just settled, and said, we've got this 1-1, leave it to the last couple of laps. But it's cost them about a little over a second off their lead. But I imagine for the likes of Lean and Vaughan Roberts in particular, who seem to like to have a battle in amongst their races, hopefully they're at least having a good time with it.
I imagine they will be, Alex, and same too for Afray, because we know when he's just following along or whether he's out by himself, he says, it's a boring race, and he's very straight up with it. So I reckon all 3 of these guys will be having absolute massive grins on their faces when this one's all over, just alone for the battling action that they put in the last couple of laps. You can tell that these guys are pushing absolutely as hard as they can. The tyres are up at their perfect temperatures. The fuel load's getting low, and these guys are starting to get quicker and quicker, Alex.
Yeah, 100%. Is Lean really? Yeah, he followed Vaughan Roberts out there. A bit of contact. Oh, no, Frey. And then Lean came right over into the braking zone of O'Fray there and said, no, you won't go around the outside, sir. These guys really pushing the limits of the friendship, if anything, Corey. But certainly making it interesting nonetheless in the closing stages.
That's right, Alex. These guys are absolutely racing for sheep stations right now. And Corey Lean seems to be right at the center of all this. You see Julian Alfray actually fallen off the back of these two a little bit. He says, all right, you guys are going to be racing like this, and I'm going to back up here. So when you guys crash, I can come home with the victory.
Yeah, potentially. And like I said, these two at front seem to want to have at it. O'Fray, the old stager here, really, perhaps with more experience at this level, Perhaps, as you say, waiting to pick up the scraps. But he certainly got amongst it, but maybe he thought discretion was the better part of valour at this stage with these two going, again into turn one, if you don't mind. Will they go side by side? Will they come out side by side? That's the question. Will they come out at all? This time they do. As we jump back, let's touch base with our second pack here. These are the sensible ones. I thought these guys would be all over the shop. But no, they're the sensible. As I've just missed the pass. So Frey's gone through. I thought he was going to sit back. Now he's going to be battling with Vaughan Roberts. I've heard the crash. It's Marza. He's gone off. Let's go check out what happened to the Iberian here. As they were coming on the exit, they're on the approach to turn 2 here. I reckon he's going to have someone in the rear. Looks like, is it going to be the 4 car there of Tellini, is it? Yeah, Tellini's missed his marker there. He broke way after the 100 board, and he's just sent Oscar into... how did he miss the wall there? He's got a rear wing that's seen better days, but I tell you what, the whole car could have been a lot further out of shape than it was, Corey, after that one. That was I would have to say he missed his brake marker in the truest sense of the word on that one.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex. And that's actually what happens on these longer races like this. You start to get a little bit of brain fade and a little bit of brake fade as well. As the laps start ticking down, you start to lose a little bit of focus because this is definitely a much longer race than what we're used to seeing. Normally, the race would have been over about 10 minutes ago. As we now come across the start-finish line for the start of the white flag last lap, last chance to win it or wear it here at the Hockenheim ring. Alex, I must know, who have you got your money on here on the last lap?
Well, Frey's in a great position, but all things could change. I'm going to go lean. It'd be great seeing AZ.
Big crash in the second pack. Big crash.
Big crash. I haven't seen anyone dropping. Who was it, mate?
I'm not sure, Alex. I just saw a whole big pile up. At least it looked to be a big pile up.
We'll follow the leaders for the last lap for now. See if we can grab the replay after the race. Lean going defensive into the hairpin for the final time. 3 wide. Vaughan Roberts says yes. The other two say, why not? Vaughan Roberts is going to do the over-under. Lean gets... they're both disqualified. They're both out. They're 17X, the big 4X. O'Frey's going to walk away with it if his car's not broken. O'Frey's going to do it. Wow, that's an absolute turn up for the books. The action's now in the second pack as O'Frey's just going to walk away with this one. We've got to go back and have a look at that one in a minute. Oh, my word. We've got a Mardio ahead of Kiplik now. Yamato, Otero, Tellini's dropped right back in this pack. That must have been the action. Wow, I would not have picked that a month of Sundays, Corey. That one is O'Frey's going to run away with it as we come into the stadium section for the final time. Kiplik showing the nose on Amadio. Yamato tucked in behind. He's looking to pick up the scraps as well. Oh, my hat. That was something as O'Frey now rounds the last couple of corners. This battle looks run and won by the looks, Corey. Though Kiplik's going to show the nose up the inside of the final corner, catches the curb, but it's O'Frey. O'Frey, the Frenchman, comes away with a famous victory here at Hockenheim. That is one for the ages, Corey. What did you make of that?
That was absolutely nuts, Alex. I don't know how else I can possibly explain it. Both Corey Lean and Vaughan Roberts getting the 17X DQ on the last lap. You couldn't write it, Alex. No. Absolutely incredible action.
Let's go check this out. They're coming down to the braking zone of the hairpin for the final time at turn 5 here. As we slow it right down again, they're 3 wide in, and they looked to have got it sorted. Corey then, I think Lean has pushed a little bit off that curbing. There's a 4X for him. And then O'Frey's been turned by Vaughan Roberts, and doink, doink, they both go as they've obviously that final contact has cost them the points, the incident points, taking them over the 17 that each race that you get, and O'Frey, who again the old stager there has held on for the victory as he comes around with a victory lap. He's got incident points to spare, is he, by the looks of that? Holy dooly, Corey. That was one absolute crazy finish. I've never seen one like that. Let's go check out our race results. I think everyone's finished. Yes, they have. Let's go check out the results for round two at Hockenheim season 25. Julian O'Fray in what is the most remarkable race victory I've ever seen here on in the 25 seasons we've been doing this. Holy dooly. He's taken it out and finished on top. Loris Amadio, who led that second pack throughout with Giuseppe Tellini, he's managed to create. He can't be. You know, he needs to go buy some lottery tickets as Amadio. He's finished second. Vladimir Kiplik similarly rounding out your podium here tonight. Takuma Yamato, the leading Japanese driver here once again tonight in fourth. Cristobal Otero, Iberia's leading driver here tonight. He's got up to fifth. He had an eventful race, as did Giuseppe Tellini, the Dr. Waves Italy driver, in sixth. Dimitri Philippides from Asia in seventh. Oscar Chilamaza, the other Iberian in the field, in eighth. Ninth was Sean Doyle, who turned out to be the leading ANZ driver with another top 10 finish here in the top split at Hockenheim. He'll be cheering. Hiroshi Ueda from Japan in 10th. George Matsushinsky fought back for 11th. Evan Gobdell in his debut, the American driver, in it up to his eyeballs tonight. He's finished in the final SNL point scoring position. Vasco Sorowski, the Team Clowns driver, he's finished in 13th. Gail Kawabe's son, the Japanese driver, had a podium last week, all the way down in 14th here tonight, just ahead of our two disqualifications, Corey Lean and Nick Vaughan Roberts. Incredible. They battled throughout, and it cost them in the end, cost them dearly, as was the case with the cowboy for Speedy Snail, Sam Devantia, who was our other retirement, some 16 laps down, Corey. That was amazing and just crazy. I'm just blown away by that one.
As I said, Alex, you couldn't even script it if you tried. And, just the way that whole thing went down and Julian coming out with the win, incredible action. And, as I said, I'm sure that there's going to be quite a bit of road rage between those two, especially in the coming weeks. So let's hope that they don't that one spill over into next week's race, Alex.
Mate, I don't know. I don't know. They could be anything, that one. That was incredible. All right, let's go. Let's speak to our race winner, Mr. Julian O'Fray. Julian, mate, that was
Yeah,
incredible. Can you believe what just happened?
I just can't believe this. I was so at the same time I was pained because I can't battle them, but in the same time I was so I looked so hard because it's incredible.
Mate, I mean, I have not seen anything like that. I couldn't believe the battling that was going on from, halfway through the race. You guys had an 8-second lead. And Corey and I were just saying, they're just going to cruise now and really take the gloves off and battle towards the end. But that was not the case. It was just all on from the mid stages of the race. And in the end, that I think is what cost Vaughan Roberts and Lean so much. You looked a bit more patient there and had those incident points to spare. What did you make of that final lap, mate?
I see them very very hot during maybe all the race and the end of the race. And this is, I think, cause there was a disqualification. They had a disqualification.
Yes.
They gain 4x many time, I think. And Korea, for me, is far away. I mean, on the real world. So I don't see really his car when it's ready. You understand what I say or no? Yeah.
Yeah, mate, it was
Yeah.
really tough battle, I thought, and Corey was on the inside there, difficult to see. I felt there was room. I thought maybe the curbing pushed him out a little bit, as curbs can do, and that, when you don't have the points to spare in the 17 incident points, it's a risk that perhaps you have to take though if you want to win the race. But for you, Julian, that's worked out amazingly tonight. Like I said, I've never seen a race finish like that, and but certainly
Yeah,
you was
yeah.
second last week and a win today. A fantastic start to your season.
Yeah, sure. Better than the last one. Um, yeah, it's cool. I didn't ex how to say fuck. The language barrier really annoying me. I want to say things, but I don't find words.
That's all right, mate. Listen, we really do appreciate you coming and talking to us. It's great to have you after nights like tonight. Come and tell us a bit about your race. But we won't hold you up. The Formula One's on, mate. We'll let you get off to that. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out to tonight before we let you go?
I want to thank you for your job, and I think I will watch this stream with
Yeah,
a lot of log like
yeah, mate.
at this time.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't have words anymore, mate. It was just amazing to watch. So, congratulations again, Julian. Great start to your season and to both the official and the Sunday Night Lights, and hopefully onwards and upwards from here, mate. We look forward to seeing you in the rest of the season.
We will see how it will happen the rest of the season. But I'm confident because I'm not the faster on each track, but I'm fast everywhere. So I think I can do something.
Yeah, mate. Just as long as we're consistent, that's what we like to see, mate. So have a great week ahead, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
See you. Bye bye next week.
Yeah, Corey, that was Julian O'Fray. Took out one of the most bizarre victories I've ever seen, mate. I don't know about you, but that was one for the books.
And not even have I seen that on the oval side of life, Alex. Just absolutely incredible. And I was having a little sneaky look at the incident count, and Julian actually tied the lowest amount of incidents in the race at 5. So how he only came away with 5 incidents for the entire race, I will never know. But that is absolutely incredible when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, especially with those shenanigans on the last lap.
Mate, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. All right, let's move on. We'll grab young Vasco Sorowski for Team Clowns Racing here tonight. Not the finish he would have liked there down in 13th, mate, but up a couple of spots from where you started. Big field tonight of strong drivers, 4,700 or somewhere abouts it was out there tonight, mate. How was the racing from your cockpit?
Hi, Alex. Hey, Corey. It was a very lonely race. We don't belong in this broadcast room tonight, but I thought we'll give you the runaround from our end. We stuffed quali really. We did no second lap, and the first one wasn't that great, so we ended up down the back. Fair enough. And I thought we got around the incident in that first hairpin, and it all went wrong from there. We got a tap hit, and then the car was slow pit, and that's all she wrote. And we really weren't on the pace, boys. So funny thing is, earlier in the week, I thought we were doing quite well, and then as the week came along, we seemed to get slower, which I don't get an answer for. But the guys at the front were super quick. So,
Yeah,
but yes,
mate.
fun nonetheless. It was a bit boring down the back, but hey, someone's got to be there at some point, right?
Well, that's it, mate. Can I tell you, these races don't happen with without everyone in the field. So we do appreciate the support, both on track and off, mate. So good on you for getting out there. Looks like you're in the top split to stay these days, and it's getting tougher to get in too. So great to have you out there, mate. And we look forward to seeing you out there again next week. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
You guys, obviously, for doing what you do. Thank you very much, boys, and the usual clowns, Justin, Martin, Doug, and Greg over there that keep us going. And yes, that's pretty much it. So thanks, boys. Thanks very much.
Beautiful, mate. We look forward to seeing you next week. And I can see your partner in crime down there, so I might grab a word with him in a sec. But all the best for the week, mate. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Corey, that was young Vasco Sorofsky, down in 14th there tonight. Not where he wanted to be or where he pictured himself, no doubt, but that is sometimes just how it goes. We'll get through these quickly because the F1's on. Mr. Braden Martin, I know he'll want to get to the F1s pretty quickly, but Braden, second split, car number 1 again this week. Give us a rundown, mate. What happened?
Yeah, just can't get away from it, can I? Not too bad. Pretty nice race. Qualified pole, which was good to get that extra point again. But I just couldn't get the win. Bottled it in the last lap. Went a bit deep into the hairpin and ended up running too wide with Jorge Aviles Dominic, I think. And we had a really good race. We worked together and basically bridged the gap away from Justin Watt most of the race, and then battled pretty hard too wide for the last bit of the last lap, and he just got a bit better run on the outside. So it was a pretty good race overall. Can't complain.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Mate, you got to go watch this replay, but you won't believe the finish on this one. Honestly, it was crazy. But I'm glad to hear there was a good run for you in the second split, mate. Pole, bonus point, as you say, almost as good. In fact, that's as good as a win, really, if you come second. So that's a good night out, mate, and good championship points to go with what you had last week as well. So congratulations, mate. Congratulations. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, just give a shout out to all the Aussies in the second split. So we had myself, Justin Watt, Mitchell Nichols, Nathan Verney, Jeremy Bush, Jason Browers, Mark Jeffrey, Jason Willman, and Paul Wilson all in the second split. So plenty of Aussies out there tonight. Shout out to Locked On Lads, CD Cinematography, driversclub.net.au, 24/7 Race Control. Your good self, and we'll have a chat about the race on Tuesday.
Mate, looking forward to it, mate. That's a really strong showing for the ANZ club there in the second split. Bit of work. Sean Doyle was in the top split tonight, so I think you can blame. Yeah, he did. He took your spot. So great to see some of the local contingent up there. A few more weeks under the belt, we might see a few more, eh?
Sounds good. Have a good night, boys.
You too. See you, mate. Bye. There you go, Corey, Braden Martin, who of course I sit with on for each week to put out the Locked On iRacing podcast, mate. It'd be a lot for us to talk about this week.
Oh yeah, definitely, Alex. With how much action was in this race, I reckon you guys are going to have an absolute field day with that podcast. And good on the Locked On lads for putting on the podcast for the AusNZ community. I know you yourself used to do a bit of podcasting here and there. And sad to see you don't do it for yourself anymore, but the listening views weren't actually very high. But good on them for taking it over and continuing it on and doing a pretty damn good job of it.
Yeah, mate, I'm enjoying my time with them at the moment. It's great to be back in the podcasting chair and having a bit of a chat with the guys. It's a bit of fun, and certainly it's a nice thing that they're doing as a whole for the iRacing community, and great to be a part of it. Let's grab our final interview tonight. It's Vasco Sorofsky's partner in crime, Mr. Justin Watt. Justin, mate, how'd you go in the second split there tonight?
It wasn't too bad. We had a pretty good finish, a P3, just behind them. They got away a little bit. They had a good tow together, the two front guys, and they didn't make any mistakes. So that was quite hard. We were doing the same numbers, but yeah, couldn't close the gap. So it was good.
Yeah, nothing more frustrating than having the same pace, but you're just not in it at the same time. You just feel like you're clutching. You never quite get there, mate. I've been there, and I know your frustration, but sounds like there was a big Aussie contingent there tonight, and something we can build on to hopefully get more representation in the top split by the sounds of it.
Yeah, we're not too far off it now. I think Braden and myself, we're just knocking on the door there. Couple more, maybe races, and we should be there for our IRs anyway. Our IR's just a little bit low for that top split. There's been some pretty good participation lately, so it's made it tough to get in the top split. So
yeah, mate, I'm hoping to see more of you guys up there because there's a strong batch of folks coming through, which is really great to see, and certainly part of the reason that we put this thing on each week. So great to see that's having impact, and we appreciate you guys getting out there and supporting us as well. But listen, thanks for dropping in and saying good day, mate. Anyone like to give a shout out to tonight?
obviously just all the team, Vasco, all the work he puts in, and Martin, Doug, and Greg, our spotters. Without the group, it wouldn't be as good as what it is. So thank you, boys, for the help.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you in the top split before too long.
Thanks, guys.
There you go, Corey. It was Justin Watt, the other clown out there, and I'm allowed to call him that because that's what they call their team. But hopefully, like I said, that sounds like a great representation in the second split. Hopefully, before too long, we'll see all that flow up into the big show.
Well, definitely, Alex, and it's exciting to see so many Aussies getting out there and getting amongst it. And as you said, before too long, I'm sure we'll have 3, 4, even 5 of those guys making it into the top split each and every single week. And it's definitely going to be great since we're just a little Aussie representation here. And it's exciting seeing all these guys coming up through the ranks.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Now, so we can all get on with F1, mate. Quick rundown. Where can the folks see you this week?
All right, guys, so you can find me at the Aussie Sim Commentator channel on Wednesday at 11:20 Western Australian time. That's GMT +8. We're going to be doing the Gladiator at the Glen, 42 laps of the Wacken Glen International Circuit in the Next Gen Cup cars. You'll find all that action at twitch.tv/Aussie_Sim_commentator. Then the action on my channel on Tuesday, there is probably going to be a dirt race of some kind. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Rallycross at Sonoma. And then anything else after that is just going to be a little bit of whatever.
Beautiful.
And then back here next week with you for Road America action, Alex.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. But otherwise, folks, everything Top Split is on your screen at the moment. Join us in the Discord. That's where we keep all the latest and greatest of SNL, all the scoring and the replays and everything posted there. The replays themselves, of course, we do the broadcasts and the post-race interviews as well. The broadcast replays are all stored on the Top Split YouTube channel for all this season and previous seasons. All 25 are up there if you want to go and check them out. And, of course, Top Split Twitch TV. Top Split TV on Twitch is where you'll find us each and every week here calling the best Skippy action in town. If you do want to keep up with the latest and greatest of ANZ iRacing, check out the Locked On iRacing podcast each and every week on a Wednesday with myself, Braden, who's in here tonight, and hosted by Mr. Peter Wilco Wilkinson. Check us out there on all your favourite pod-catching type applications. But otherwise, folks, I've been your host, Alex McKellar, and on behalf of the chaotic one himself, Mr. Corey Steinhauser, thank you for your support of the stream and the broadcast and the race, both on track and off. And until next time, ciao for now.